Storybugs.
Welcome to story time. I'm excited to read this one with you tonight, but first I'm going to get snug as a bug in a rug, and I'm going to share with you a John Patience story. It's called Tales from Fern Hollow, The Tortoise Fair. And this book has beautiful pictures, so I'm going to try to remember to hold it up close to the camera for you. These pictures are very beautiful. And the same man that wrote it is the same man that drew all the pictures too. Here we go. Early one morning, an old tortoise appeared in Fern Hollow. He was dressed in a colorful costume and was pasting up posters. Tugger and Monty read the posters with great excitement. The Tortoise Fair coming to Fern Hollow tomorrow. Monty and Tugger loved fairs, and the tortoise himself was a very interesting animal. He said his name was Pablo, and he told them stories about all the wonderful places he had visited. Like all tortoises, he said, I take my house around with me. Yes, indeed, it's a traveling life for me, a traveling life in a painted caravan. Ooh, look at that. The next day, Monty and Tugger went to the fair. It had been put up in Farmer Bramble's, Tugger's father, his field. All the Fern Hollow animals were there, and everyone was having fun. There were merry-go-rounds, coconut shies, and lots of other things besides. Tugger won a goldfish, and Monty won a coconut. As evening came, everyone began to drift off home. Listen, whispered Tugger. The fair leaves here tomorrow morning. Meet me here then, and we'll go with them. They're making a plan. The sun had just risen, and a thick dew was sparkling on the grass. Tugger had hidden himself behind a tree near Pablo's caravan. Suddenly, someone tapped him on the shoulder. Don't worry, it's only me, whispered Monty. You gave me the fright of my life, said Tugger. It was quite likely that the tortoises wouldn't want to take Monty and Tugger with them, so the friends decided they would stow themselves away. That means like hide away, so no one knows. As they crept into Pablo's caravan, the old tortoise was still fast asleep. Monty pointed to a large wicker basket. We'll hide in there, he whispered. Before long, the fairground folk began to wake up. Then there was a lot of noisy activity as the merry-go-rounds and sideshows were packed away, and the horses were hitched up to the caravans. At last they were all ready to leave. Gee up, Topper, shouted Pablo. Then Monty and Tugger felt the caravan jolt and move off. The caravan was just crossing the railway bridge when the Fern Hollow Express, oh, I lost my place, came down the line. Suddenly, Mr. Rusty, the engine driver, sounded the whistle. The noise terrified Topper the horse. He whinnied, reared up, and bolted down the road, with the caravan rattling along wildly behind him. If I was a horse, that train would scare me too. That's a really big train. Whoa. Topper galloped on through the village, scattering the Fern Hollow animals before him like leaves in the wind. No one tried to stop the runaway horse until P.C. Hoppet was riding along on his bicycle. He saw it charging towards him. Stop, in the name of the law, he cried. But the next moment the brave policeman was knocked off his bicycle and found himself sitting dusty and dazed by the roadside. Later that day, Mr. and Mrs. Tuttleby noticed that Monty was missing and went to see P.C. Hoppet. When they arrived at the police station, they found that Farmer and Mrs. Bramble were also there. It seemed that Tugger was missing too. "The tortoises must have kidnapped them," said P.C. Hoppet. "They were certainly in a hurry to leave. We'd better get after them." "Oh no, that's not who took them." "Come on then," cried Farmer Bramble. "I've got the tractor outside. You can all ride in the trailer. We'll track the villains down, or my name's not Barnaby Bramble." Uh-oh. Meanwhile, Pablo had managed to get Topper under control, and the traveling fairground was now on its way to the next village. In the wicker basket, Tugger's nose had begun to itch. Suddenly, he sneezed. Achoo! Pablo almost jumped out of his shell. The two stowaways had given themselves away, but fortunately for them, the old tortoise was very understanding. "Well, I'll have to take you back home," he chuckled. "But it's getting late, and I expect you're hungry. You can have supper with us first." So Monty and Tugger were sitting round the campfire, eating stew and singing songs to the music of Pablo's piano accordion. The stew had all been eaten, and Pablo was preparing to turn back to Fern Hollow when Farmer Bramble drove up on his tractor. P.C. Hoppet was quite ready to arrest every one of the tortoises for kidnapping. But Monty and Tugger quickly explained what had happened. "Well," said Farmer Bramble, as he drove the tractor and trailer home, "you two have certainly had an adventure, haven't you?" But there was no reply from Monty and Tugger because they had both fallen fast asleep. They had a long day, didn't they? The end. I always like these stories because they have such beautiful pictures, and they always have these fun adventures too. I hope you can join me for another book, and I hope you stay snug as a bug tonight. See ya.